The final countdown is on for the Winter Olympics. Well, Koi's in place. Good morning.
Yeah, I barely made it here, Robin. Coming up, I'm going to tell you what the Olympians that were on my flight, what we had to go through just to even make it, and why we're hoping we can stay.
Forensic Files 2 returns February 27th at 10, only on HLN.
Koi's in Beijing. He's gone through the getting there and has more on what it's like to be in this bubble compared to Tokyo's bubble.
It's night and day, Robin. Good to see you. Beijing, this is the first city to host the Summer and Winter Olympics. And there was this seemingly endless string of hoops that Olympians from around the world had to jump through just to get approval to come to Beijing. And then actually getting here was this nerve-wracking, anxiety-building process for which the athletes I've spoken to could have never prepared. Beijing 2022. Nearly 3,000 athletes from 90 nations going to China chasing dreams. Our journey from the United States started with an approval process that took weeks. Be fully vaccinated, show 2 negative PCR tests, acquire a green health QR code, and so on. It's not like anything I've experienced in the U.S., where some places have hardly any COVID protocols. We're headed to one of the most locked down places on the planet. Team USA chartered flights for its athletes for the first time ever.
I know that I've done everything in my power to not get COVID, and I've done everything right.
Life has just been so strict lately. Definitely makes things like going to the Olympics not as enjoyable.
Our plane ride via Paris was packed with Olympians from France, Brazil, Netherlands, Monaco. This is my neighbor Clément Paris, bronze medal skier for France at the last Winter Games. He says these are crazy times, no family allowed, and one positive test could squash his dream of a second Olympic medal. Seeing a flight attendant doing random temperature checks on sleeping fellow Olympians made it even more real. Deboarding a plane, being greeted by people in hazmat suits was a bit shocking, like a pandemic paradigm shift. Everyone here has been exceedingly kind. They take their jobs very seriously. The COVID test upon arrival, it's been called the brain scraper, and let's just say it's thorough. China's zero COVID strategy is a harsh contrast to the packed arenas of screaming maskless fans in other countries. No tickets being sold to fans here. Athletes are being asked to mask up and not even cheer for their teammates out loud. It's unsettling. While here, you could get a knock on your door at any time with a hazmat messenger revealing you've tested positive. You'd have 15 minutes to gather your things before being taken away and put on lockdown at a designated isolation facility for an uncertain length of time, like Hong Kong's Audrey King, one of the Olympians who's already tested positive. They're very serious about COVID protocols here. It's a process we have to respect. These Beijing Games are a lot different than the Tokyo Games just 6 months ago. Daily COVID testing, being confined to a well-defined closed-loop system. And instead of closed loop, you could say fenced in. If there's any doubt about how strict Chinese authorities are in regard to preventing the spread of the virus, these heavily branded chain-link walls say it all. Robin, we are locked down, and the stress for these athletes can't even imagine. It doesn't stop when you get here. I texted with Team USA's flag bearer for tomorrow's ceremony, 4-time Olympian, bobsledder Alana Myers-Taylor, and she tested positive upon arrival. She was taken to an isolation facility. She's been there for about a week. But the good news is just moments ago she texted and said that she had her first negative test. Now she just needs a second consecutive negative after a 24-hour period in order to be released. It'll be her first Olympics as a mom. She's certainly one of the Olympians we'll be rooting for. But Robin, I pray that you never have to experience the brain scraper.
Was that through your nose? Or was that through your throat?
All the way through the nose, girl, and all the way about as far as it could go. I was hearing a ting, 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 hitting some of my metal plates in my neck back there, I think.
I bet. Well, I hope that the Olympian that you talked about does test negative in time to be the flag bearer, because that's such an honor, and you hate to miss that. Thank you so much, Medeer, and more to come from Beijing.
Coming to HLN. All new episodes of Forensic Files 2, with all new mysteries to solve. Forensic Files 2 returns February 27th at 10, only on HLN.